Hello, and welcome to this audio presentation where you're going to learn how to improve your concentration skills. You're going to be taught techniques which will enable you to focus on what's important in any situation while ignoring distractions. Psychologists have discovered a great deal about how our concentration system works. For example, it seems that focusing ability is largely determined by a person's attitude or interest. To illustrate, consider the effect of background music on study skills. Research shows that students can concentrate quite effectively as long as they have the power to change the volume of the music in the background, but they become quite agitated and lose their concentration if someone else takes control of it. In other words, it's not the actual noise that upsets or distracts people, but the possibility that they are no longer in control of it. This finding shows us that psychologically, the more control you can exert over any difficult situation, the less it will upset you. And although you may not be able to change a situation, you can always change your attitude to it. Using this principle, our recording will explain some simple yet powerful focusing techniques, which will help you in any mentally demanding situation, whether it's reading a book, listening to someone at a meeting, or playing sport competitively. Concentration is a practical skill which can enrich our lives considerably. Unfortunately, most of us are probably more familiar with losing our concentration than with effective focusing ability. For example, let's see if you can relate to any of these three situations. Have you ever had the experience of reading the same sentence in a book or newspaper over and over again, only to discover that none of its meaning was registered by your mind? Did you ever feel embarrassed at a business or social gathering when you forgot the name of someone you'd been introduced to just seconds earlier? Finally, how often do you find your mind wandering while listening to someone speaking, perhaps even during the first few words of this recording? Although these everyday experiences may seem unrelated, they are in fact different symptoms of a temporary loss of concentration. Let me explain. In the first situation, the tendency of your mind to wander as you read is probably caused by not deciding in advance what information you wish to obtain from the book or newspaper in front of you. If your objective isn't clear, your mind will naturally drift. Fortunately, this problem can be solved by using a concentration method called active reading, just one of the many useful techniques which you'll learn in this recording. Next, the most likely reason for your failure to remember the name of someone you've been introduced to is that you may not have heard it properly in the first place. Our short-term memory is very fragile, and unless you deliberately rehearse information by repeating it out loud, it will disappear in less than 30 seconds, gone forever. Another problem is that when you meet new people, your attention is usually drawn more to their appearance or behaviour than to their name, so you end up failing to register it in your mind. The best way to overcome this problem is to make sure you repeat a person's name aloud when you first hear it. A useful practical tip here is to say the name as you shake hands with the person. For example, "Pleased to meet you, Alison." Another strategy in this situation, especially if the person's name seems...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?